So hey McFly subscribers, I have another tabletop review for you today, and this is on the LW reel by Risen Fly. A lot of you have asked me to review this reel and also the armor reel. I did review the first armor reel a while back. I will put a link in that video over here, but they've come out now since with a new version. I'll do that review at one point, but I really wanted to review this because it is a really amazing reel. So this is their moderate price reel, I would call it. It's not their least expensive reel because it has a few features that, in my opinion, make it worth that extra money. But it's still not very badly priced. It's only $150, $149. This size actually though, this is a 7/8. This is $159, okay? But all the other sizes are $149. So let's start off by talking about what the options are and what they have. So they have a 3/4 weight, then they have a 5/6, which is this one here. This is a 5/6. And then they have the 7/8, which is this one. This is their bigger one, okay? This one I use for saltwater and like large bass fishing and whatnot. This is actually on my 4 weight, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is great for like nymphing rods and whatnot. And then they have the 3/4, which is really good for like smaller stuff, nymphing, whatever you want to do with it. But you know, again, a smaller rod. So this actually I have 6 weight line on instead of 7 because I put a lot of backing in. You can see the backing comes all the way up to here because, you know, I'm going saltwater fishing. If a fish runs, it gives me a lot of room with them. Okay, so I wanted a larger reel to be able to put a lot of line on. Plus this is pretty thick line. Okay, this is a sink tip, has a little more thickness to it. This is actually a 4 weight line that I put on. It's Risen's double taper line. And if any of you guys know, a double taper line has a little more thickness to it. There's still a lot of room here. I could have put a little more backing on. I could even probably put a 5 weight double taper, but double taper lines need probably 1 step up. So if you're fishing a 4 weight, you want a 5 weight reel. If you're fishing 5 weight, you need a 6 weight reel. So this could probably handle 4 or 5 double taper, but a regular line, this will be fine. Great for a 5 or 6 weight line. And again, their 3/4 would be great for either 3 weight or 4 weight. So this comes in a couple options. One, you can change the color. So I've got green on both of these, but it also comes in like an orange, anodized orange color. All of them are black though. The rest of it is black. I think they're a gorgeous reel. If you look at it, it's beautiful. It's got nice, pattern here and here. So they do a combo of both cast and machined. Okay, so parts of it are cast, parts are machined. I don't know which parts, but either way, they do a great job. There's no sharp edges. Nothing is sharp edges. It's all rounded. Nothing's going to cut the line. Even on the inside here, it's relatively, there's just no major sharp corners. They do a great job with it. It's really if any part of this is cast, I can't figure out what is because of the way that it's done. It's very smooth. A lot of these cast reels, they have rough edges to them. This one is not. I don't know which parts, like I said, are cast, but how they do this is just great. It's a beautiful reel. It's smooth, and it works great like you would get with any fully machined reel. Again, they come in a 3/4, 5/6, and 7/8. I'll give you a couple stats on this. I've got it right here on their website. Okay, so the outside diameter of the 3/4, which I don't have on the table here, is 75 millimeters. I don't know what that is in inches. I'm sorry, I don't know that conversion. The 5/6, which is this one, is 86 millimeters, and the 7/8, which is this one, is 94 millimeters. Okay, so and then the inside diameter is on the 3/4 is 39. On the 5/6 is 45.5 millimeter. So the spool width on the 3/4 is 21. On the 5/6 is 23. On the 7/8 is 27. And the weight is in grams here. On the 3/4, it's 116 grams. On the 5/6 is 134 grams. And on the 7/8 is 144 grams. So I am going to do a conversion there on that because I'd like to know what that is and weight. So grams to ounces is 4 ounces for the 3/4, 4.09. That's super light. And they're very light reels. 134 So this one is 4.72671. So 4.73 ounces basically if I round up. That's, again, very light. And this one is 5.07, basically 5.08 for the 7/8, okay? Again, very light. But being light, they're still rigid. They're heavy duty reels. I mean, I'm not very nice to my reels. So I went out fishing to Utah, and I've got some footage of it, but some footage of me actually being abusive to this reel. I would catch a fish, or Bob, who I went with, would catch a fish, and I just toss this. I guess I wouldn't toss it if I caught a fish, but if Bob did and I need to help him, I'd just throw it on the ground. I mean, there's a little bit of, scuffs and stuff on it, but not bad really for how much I threw it on the ground. Rocky ground, dirt paths, whatever it may be, and this thing kept on ticking. Okay, so it's very, very durable. And also, even, I don't know if this is anodized, it's a matte finish, so not super shiny, which I kind of like, by the way. If you're fishing and you've got light shining on this into the water, it can catch the fish's attention. It's not very stealthy, but this is a nice matte finish. It's not going to catch the light very much and kind of give up your location to the fish, right? So I kind of like that. But for this matte finish, I'm not sure how they did that, but it's very nice, and it's durable. That's the thing. Very durable. I mean, there's a couple little scratches here from me being abusive, but very little comparably to what it should have. There's some more on this one. I've used this quite a bit more. Again, setting it down on rocks, whatever it may be. Now, for a $150 reel, you wouldn't expect a whole lot. Now, to some of you that aren't really into fly fishing, that might seem expensive. You've probably seen some at Walmart for cheap, but they're junk, guys. They're really junk. But this has some features that is really unheard of in a reel of this price range, and especially with a warranty with it. Okay, most of these other reels are just kind of, you take it as it is, and that's how it goes if it's under $100 or $150 or whatever it may be. This really has some features that I've seen only on some more expensive reels. First off is the design. Obviously, it's very, very neat. It's a nice looking design, and I just you don't see this kind of fanciness on less expensive reels. You don't. You got to step up quite a bit. The other thing is it's a fully sealed drag. So I actually take this one into saltwater because it is a fully sealed drag. I'm not going to worry about water getting into there and gumming up the drag. Okay. The other thing is it's one of the smoothest drags I've ever used. Okay. So I'm going to take this one off of the rod. By the way, this is the 23 PS rod, also by Risen. And I got the olive because it matches really nicely with the olive rod. This is a beautiful rod, by the way, with the nice wood finish here, gunmetal color, reel seat, and it's a nice cork, really good cork. I've really used this quite a bit, and it's still looking great. So definitely, I mean, this isn't a rod review, but definitely check that out if you're interested. All right, so let's go ahead and get this set up. So this drag, so I've got this tightened down quite a bit. One of the smoothest drags I've ever used. Move this out of the way. So with just a light pull, you can see it starts picking up. Now there's a little bit of, I've got that really tight. Okay, you'll never fish with that tight. So with this, just a little tug starts pulling it. And I've noticed a lot of reels, they might have a smooth drag once you get it going, okay? Once this starts going, it's going to be smooth. But to initially start, you've got to pull and then it slips and moves. And that's not this. If you notice, I've got this down quite tight, okay? And there's almost no startup inertia. I mean, it's the same amount of pull whether you're starting it or you're continued pulling it. There's no no startup inertia. You don't have to yank for it to start going. You just don't have to do that. This is very smooth. In fact, it is the smoothest drag I've ever used. Now, when I went to Utah, I caught on this reel specifically, on my 4-weight with this 4-weight rod, 23 PS, and it really light tippet. It was like 5X, I think, tippet. And I caught a good about 21, 22 inch rainbow that just was one of the hardest pulling rainbows I've ever fought. And I've caught 28-inch brown trout that didn't pull like this. It just was absolutely one of the hardest pulling fish. That fight took me a long time and quite a few runs, like real good runs. I am convinced that there is no way I would have brought that fish in if it wasn't for this reel and its smooth drag. That drag really held that fish tight as it was, it was peeling drag. Like, I'll throw up some video of it. Like, you guys, it was amazing. And I didn't have that drag super loose, but it just was peeling like, like I was hooked onto a freight train. It was just, so that was amazing. And this reel held its own. It just really did. I would not have brought that fish in if it wasn't for this reel and how good this drag is. It is, like I said, the best drag I've ever used. And the best thing is, like I said, it is fully sealed. Another nice thing about it, having to do with the drag and also reeling it, is there is a audible click. I like that. I like hearing it spin. But there's also an audible click when you're reeling in as well. As you can see. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm going to bring this up closer to the mic so you can hear it a little better. That's going out. That's going in. So, the other thing about that is some of these reels, it's like a click, 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 super loud click. And I don't like that either. I don't necessarily want to alert all the other fishermen around me that, I got a big one on for them to come and watch. I kind of want to stay secluded. If you're on another part of the river, you're just telling everyone, hey, this is a good spot, come fish next to me. So it's not super loud. You're not going to be able to hear that, you're not going to hear that from far, far away, but you can hear it while you're fishing. I like having a little bit of a click. The other thing is this sits really shallow into the rod, which gives this a little less torque when you're casting, so you can cast a little longer for most of the day. Not only is it a really light reel, but you can see this does not sit up. Some of these reels have a long neck on them, I guess you would call it, and they'll sit down really far, and that just kind of, it doesn't sit close to the reel, and you feel it more when you're casting. This is really nice and light, first off, but also sits very high into the rod. And plus, I think it looks great. Now, I know I put that on backwards, guys. Another thing is, this doesn't have a lot of gap. Okay, so sometimes you can have reels that have a lot of gap in between the spool and the rest of the reel, and line will come up under and come out while you're fishing, and then it's not along here. I don't like that, but this does not have that. So I very rarely, I've never had this where the line jumps this. A couple times with really fine tippet can get under there. Not while I'm fishing though, that never happens because the tippet never reaches the reel. Like if I leave the tippet on and then I do that and then go to store this after I come out, sometimes the tippet will be under there, and that can happen, but definitely not the line. It's just too thick, it won't go in there, although there's some reels that do have a wider gap. Okay, the other thing is it's really easy to take apart, so if there is ever an issue, now there's one little issue that I have with this, but the spool, this is really well oiled and it's good machined, well machined, so but you can see that gasket there, it keeps it fully sealed, but that's just easy. Okay, And some of these, you got to work it to get it back to lay back in. That's back in. It's not like it's really difficult to drop it back in. Some of these, it's, there's only one way that it can go back in. This one, that's it. It's in, okay? The only thing I don't like is that this comes off. It doesn't stay. That's the only thing I would say that I would like to see, is that stay. Like that, and then you can pop the reel off. Well, I guess you could right there, see? So I guess you don't have to untwist it all the way. I always have, so maybe you just kind of untwist it to the point where this comes off. You could do that, but I wish there was something that kind of kept this from unscrewing all the way, if that makes sense. But you've got a gasket there, you've got a gasket on the screw, and then all this is sealed, okay? So under there, it's all sealed. This is that's what it rests on. This is your drag, and this is the whole drag system. You can see it's a beefy drag system. Like I said, really smooth, but also you can really crank this down for such a small reel into where, you can barely even pull on it. So it's got some versatility, okay? Well, there's how that is. All right. And there we go, and it's back in. It's not hard. Some of these, you really got to work at it to get it back on there. You don't with this. So a couple times I've had that happen where, I'm out there fishing, I go to strip line off and I forget to tighten the drag, and I'll rat's nest a little bit in there, and then you got to take the spool off. Well, when you're on the water, you don't want to do that. It sucks, especially if, you have trouble. But this goes off and back on pretty easily, so that's beneficial in my opinion. So as I talked about with the drag, if you're interested in what kind of material they use both cork and Teflon drag. So it's a combo of the two, and I guess that's what makes it so smooth. Really, I've never felt a drag this smooth. So this is a normal amount that you would have, and you can see, it's just, there's no startup inertia, and it just is smooth as it goes. So Risen's warranty is one of the best in the business. This is basically going to be a lifetime reel for you. Even if you break it, very little cost to be able to replace it. I'm going to read this for you guys because I want to make sure I get it right. But it says here, there is a lifetime warranty on any damage done to the products not due to normal wear and tear. We stand behind our products and will replace or repair any warranty claim due to these reasons for a minimal cost. These issues would be a broken rod due to personal mistake, dented spool or frame of the reel, or etc. If the model is discontinued, you will be credited for a certain amount towards the purchase of a new product. Proof of warranty is as simple as taking pictures and emailing to the company, which is the owner's email. And then these are the prices. So for instance, this reel, okay, the LW reel is $30. So if you break it, dent it, throw it, whatever it may be, falls off the back of your truck. By the way, I was fishing with my buddy Johnny down in Corpus the other day, and that happened to him. He put the rod on top of the car. We got into the car. We totally forgot, and we drove off, and then going down the highway, crashed. The thing came off. Rod was still in good condition. Then he casted, and it snapped on him. So that can happen. We all make mistakes, and this will kind of, be $30 versus buying a $150 reel. That's really, really generous of them. So that goes for, I believe, the lifetime of the reel. But they also have within, I think, 60 days, if there is ever an issue with the quality or performance in the product that Risen offers, we will reimburse the purchase price within 60 days if it's unused, with a small restocking fee, or replace any broken or underperforming product that is of the cause of manufacturing due to the life of the product, during the life of the product. So if something like you get it, and you're fishing with it, and there's nothing you did wrong, of course, they're going to have to review it and look at it. For the life of the product, there is no time frame that they won't replace for free if it's their fault, obviously. But that's, a lot of places give you a certain amount of time. They do it for life, so that's really, really nice of them. Again, one of the best warranties in the business, and really the best customer service. Everyone I talk to, I'm really picky on who I work with customer service, because if I'm saying, hey guys, go buy this is a good reel, and then the company treats you guys like garbage, I don't want to work with them. This happened a while back. I was working with a company, And that happened. A bunch of my customers emailed me about the bad customer service. You know, if it's one or two, I understand things happen, but it was a fair amount. And I dumped that company real quick. But with Risen, I've only heard great things. People come back and go, listen, I listened to you. I got this rod. First off, it's amazing. Or got this reel or whatever it may be. It's amazing. It's a good reel. I love it. Great price for it. But man, their customer service is excellent. They really took care of me, whatever it may be. Everyone has raving reviews about it. I've never heard anything bad, only good. So, you know, that's why I like promoting them. They are a great company, first off for me to work with, and second off for you guys to buy from. Just an absolute dream of a company to work with. So if you guys are interested in purchasing this, go to www.risenfly.com and type in my discount. Okay, so for your first order with them, if you haven't ordered before, you can type in McFly at checkout and you get 15% off of anything in their shop on all their rods, reels. They sell fly tying material, line. They have tools for on the river. They have a bunch of stuff. All of it is in their brand, and it's just everything is excellent quality, but better price than anywhere else. Okay, so definitely check out Risen. Now, if you live close to them, they're located in Pennsylvania. So right here on their website, you can see. I'll read it off to you. It's Risen Fly Fishing. They're at 748. Oh boy, I cannot pronounce that. Shenango. I'm gonna spell it, guys. SHENANGO Road. So Shenango Road in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, 15010. Okay? Or give them a call, 724-888-2762. I will see you guys on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.